A Better Route Chapter 127. Madara had every preparation set up down to the smallest detail. He'd left no stone unturned, every last thing he possibly could have planned out he did. Now it was just a matter of setting everything into motion. Tuhiya. Are you all set? Tuhiya stood next to the other 5 paths. Everything's ready here. Madara went to his next assistant. White Zetsu, is your army ready? White Zetsu gave a mock salute from the statue he was connected to. You've got hundreds of me just waiting for your command, sir. Madara turned to his last assistant, Black Zetsu. Now you may take command of Orochimaru. Orochimaru yelled, wait a minute, what are you talking about? That's when Black Zetsu put his hand on Orochimaru's shoulder and began to merge with him. You didn't really think we were going to trust you now, did you? We're not about to let you try and turn all of the reanimated ninjas against us. Madara watched as Orochimaru tried to fight Zetsu's control. You won't get away with this. Madara walked away. Oh, I think that I'll get away with whatever I want. As soon as he was gone, Tuhiya leaned into the now Zetas-controlled Orochimaru. You had your white half send some of his clones do everything I asked of them, correct? He nodded, of course, and he thinks it was an order from Madara. Now if you'll excuse, I've got to go and set things in motion. The 5 armies of the 5 great ninja had all joined together to fight what was going to be the greatest war in the world's history. For the first time ever, every ninja village was going to be working together against a common enemy. That wasn't something anyone could have predicted. All of divisions were down on the battlefield with the 5 Kages standing above them on a cliff. Most of the lovers were saying their goodbyes at the moment, making sure they got to see them one last time in case the worst happened. Naruto and Hinata were holding each other close. Don't you worry, Hinata-chan. Once this is all over, you and I can go home and get married. Maybe even start a little family. Hinata smiled up at him. That sounds perfect, Naruto-kun, you just make sure you come home alive. Naruto laid a gentle kiss on forehead. Don't worry, I will. Kiba was busy worrying about Mito. So you're gonna be back here, right, staying with the medics and healing everyone? Mito loved how worried he was about her. At first, yeah, but sooner or later they're gonna need me to go out there and start fighting with them. Kiba sighed. Alright, but don't start fighting unless you have to, okay? Mito rolled her eyes. Yeah, like that's gonna happen. Then there was Kakashi and Konan, whose goodbyes was interrupted. Don't worry, I'll be back once we kill that snake for a second time. Konan was about to reply but pointed behind him. Kakashi-kun. Kakashi looked behind to see the 3 people whose lives he'd saved when he was with the Akatsuki, and Yujito was leading the back. Kakashi was a little frightened at first. I realize you guys might be mad at me, Konan, since we used to be part of the Akatsuki. Yujito stopped them. Mad at you guys? Are you kidding? You saved our lives when that bitch wanted to kill us. Plus, you're both helping us fight the war now. We came here to thank you. Kakashi and Konan were shocked as they each shook the ex-Jinchuriki's hands. You're welcome. They talked for a few minutes and then walked away. The only thing Konan could say was, well, that was unexpected. The last ones saying goodbye were Rin and Obito. You'd better take that psycho out, Obito-kun, and come home safe too, please. Obito gave her a sly grin. If it means I get to come home to you, then I'll do everything I can. Rin couldn't help but laugh. All these years and you're still using those cheesy lines. Obito just silenced her with kiss that was interpreted when Mei started tapping on his shoulder. Obito, the other Kages and I feel you'd be the best person to make a speech to the shinobi down there. Obito gave a deep sigh. Why am I always the one who has to make the speeches? Rin just gave him a gentle shove towards the edge of the cliff. Just go and get it over with, sweetie. Obito went to the edge of the cliff and looked down at the sea of shinobi before him. He doubted that someone would even be able to count them all. Sending this many people into a situation that very well could be their death wasn't easy for him, so the least he could do was make them feel like what they were doing mattered. He took a deep breath and yelled to all of them, "My fellow shinobi, I know this isn't easy for you. Some of you are standing next to people whom you've always considered to be your enemy. Many of you even think that what unites us is our desire to defeat Madara. However, I do not believe that. I think that it's something else that unites us, and Madara was merely the trigger." All of Shinobi looked up at him confused as he continued to talk. "I believe what unites us is what unites all Shinobi. We have a common goal and hope of a better future for those we care about. We're not here today simply because we want to beat Madara, we're here because we don't want him to get back home and destroy everything we hold important. That is why you must trust the person standing next to you. Not for your sake, but for the sake of your family and friends. Can I count on all of you to put any differences you have aside so that we can win this war?" The crowd erupted in cheer, and Obito could see they were getting into it. "Good. Because today you are not part of the sand or the mist or any other village. Today you are just one thing, Shinobi." The roar of the crowd was nearly deafening as Obito screamed, "Everyone to your posts. Let's go out there and win this war." Kakashi, Anko, and Kabuto raced through the battleground as quickly as they could. They'd been the first group deployed as they wanted Orochimaru taken out as fast as they possibly could. The sooner that snake could no longer reanimate bodies, the sooner they could focus all their efforts on Madara. Luckily, they finally found a use for Anko's curse mark. With what was left of it, Kabuto had been able to make a sort of beacon that would lead them right to Orochimaru. The only thing that had really been odd was Anko singing as they traveled, "I'm gonna skin the snake, I'm gonna skin the snake, oh happy day, I'm gonna skin the snake." Kabuto found it creepy, but Kakashi thought it was very funny. "Sing it loud and proud, Anko." Kabuto saw someone up ahead and stopped. "Wait, we've got somebody in front of us." All of them stopped, and Anko couldn't believe what she saw. Kakashi. Kakashi looked at her. "What?" Anko shook her head. "Not you, Kakashi, that Kakashi." Kakashi looked up to see a teenager with gray hair and a mask over his face and black eyes instead of white. "Wait a minute, you mean as in my parents' old teammate?" Finally the teen across the way spoke. "Where am I? What's going on?" Kakashi couldn't believe it. "It's really you, the guy I was named after. My parents were your teammates." The second Kakashi looked at the one who'd been speaking. "Wait minute, you're Obito and Rin's son, and you're named after me?" Anko groaned. "We don't have time for this. We've gotta go and kill Orochimaru." Kakashi told them, "You guys go on ahead, I'll catch up. I'm the fastest and the strongest of us." Anko and Kabuto didn't like it, but left just the same. Kakashi looked across to the person he was named after. "Let's see just how good the first Kakashi is." Over by the 4th Division, Hayashi and Tsum were rushing for the first group of white Zetsus they saw. It was their job to. They didn't look too threatening, so they assumed they'd have a pretty easy time picking them off. However, it became clear there were some human figures in there as well, with black eyes. Most of them weren't anyone of note, but Hisashi could have swore he saw a head of blue hair. Oh God, please no. When he finally got a good look at who the blue hair belonged to, Hayashi's heart sank. After years of peaceful, they'd woken up his sweet wife to join in the fight. "Haria, my beautiful Haria, what have they done to you?" Haria looked up at her husband. "Hello Hayashi-kun. I don't suppose this is the time to ask you how you've been, is it?" Hayashi was getting choked up. "Those bastards are going to pay for this." Haria got into fighting post-Ion. "Look at it this way, Hayashi-kun, we finally get to see who the best gentle fist user is." Tsum was furious. How could they be that cruel? To do something like that is just unforgivable. Another voice was heard from down on the battleground. "I'd have to agree, darling, and nice to see you're just as feisty as ever." Some gasped, "Otaba." Otaba Inazuka had been Tsum's husband and one-time clan head of the Inazuka clan. He had his daughter's face, but with a more muscular build, and brown hair. He was the most feared Inazuka who'd ever lived, along with his dog Atakura. Kiba was coming close to surpassing him, but no one was sure if he'd done it yet. Now, Tsum was going to have to try and take him out so he could be sealed away. Otaba smiled at her, "Are you ready, puppy eyes?" Tsum almost burst into tears at hearing her old pet name again. This wasn't going to be easy for her. Naruto was in the middle of the third division that was right in fray of the largest group of Zetsus. There was clearly someone powerful coming up soon. Naruto could tell because he saw ninjas flying through the air after getting hit by a pretty heavy attack. He kept seeing little flashes of something gold in the distance but he couldn't tell what it was. Naruto finally got a clear look of what they were. They almost looked like giant chains. Kurama screamed in Naruto's head, "Chakra chains? Look Kit, I've only ever seen two people make chakra chains that good. One was the first Hokage's wife and the other," Naruto finished, "was my mom." He sprinted faster than he ever had before and was able to get a good look at the face of the woman who was causing all of the trouble. The face of Kushina Namikaze Uzumaki. See you in the next one.